Okay, it's 9 o'clock. We'll go ahead and we'll call the meeting to order. The first thing on the agenda here this morning is the minutes from the previous meeting. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to review those. If so, I'll entertain a motion.
I move we adjourn the minutes from last meeting.
Second that.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes from the previous meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. You guys want to do a CFPS or something?
Sure. So on the consent for permanent structures, we have 3 from Northeastern REMC. They are all basically the same thing. They're boring under the drain, and they're all tiles. They have the note of the warning on their plans and stuff, and everything looks good from my point. Max?
Yep, all good.
They're all shown here. They're all on a different tile. They're all loading, I guess. So, yep, along 600 East, and then also SR14. I think I'm supposed to sign that because I shouldn't have.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys heard the recommendation. Looks like it's okay. We'll need a motion for each of these, though. We'll need them separate. So,
I move we approve Northeastern REMC for drain 097-00B, CROWELL 3, as presented.
Second that.
it's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent for permanent structure for REMC on the 097-003B CROWELL drain as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes.
I move we approve the request from Northeastern REMC on the 701-014B Taylor V14 drain.
Second. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the drain for the 701-014B Taylor V drain. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes.
I move we approve the request from Northeastern REMC for the drain 701-016B Taylor B number 16 is presented.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the request for REMC to place a pole on the 701-016B Taylor B number 16 drain. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Got a minute or two. Anything else that we want to talk about?
Not in a minute or two.
Okay. Okay, it's 9:05. We'll start the public hearing on the first that's on our agenda here. The drain is a 216-037B GOBLE E number 37. Currently, this drain is assessed at $15 per acre and a $50 minimum, collecting $858.75 annually. The proposed and advertised amount is the $40 per acre and the $200 minimum, which would bring it up to $2,556.64 annually. Everybody's been notified. There was one notice that was returned undeliverable. No walk-in inquiries on this one. No written objections at this time. The watershed has 53.24 acres, 7 assessments and 4 minimums, and the current fund balance is $1,104.70. So, Max, you want to give us an overview of what needs done on that tile?
Yeah, this is just kind of general maintenance. We had a couple of property owners, they've been taking care of suck holes and tile collapsing in certain places through the past. So they were asking just to raise it for future work and take care of the tile. So,
Okay.
still not gonna collect a whole lot, but at least we'll have some money in there to make some repairs.
Okay. So it's not total replacement, it's just
No,
money
it's
to do
just-
maintenance at this point?
Yep.
Okay. Is there any public comment on this drain? Any discussion from the board? I'll entertain a motion if not.
I motion to increase the assessment rate on the 216-037B GOBLE E37 drain.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we increase the GOBLE E number 37, the proposed amount at $40 and $200 minimum. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Got 3 minutes. Use that. Yeah. Throw something at us.
Too fast.
We still got a couple minutes till 9:10. I guess that's why we're waiting, just to make sure we don't start until the advertised time, so. We can talk about something and pause at 9:10. I mean, if we wanna get rolling on something.
Sure, we could start on the Columbia Realty number 2. That is the one in Columbia City on the west side. I think it's Westgate. What stands in our way at the moment now is the railroad. This is the one where we got, so we've replaced this green line, and then it's been replaced from the open ditch up to here in this dark red portion. And it looks like it's clogged under the railroad, so we need to repair it. They sent us an engineering review estimate for $36,000 for them to review the plans to go under the railroad. So we need to decide if we're going to spend that money for them to review it. I did talk with the Allen County surveyor on if they had any similar experiences, and they did have a project that went under a railroad. They had a similarly absurd fee, but they did have success invoicing the railroad for half of the construction costs to get refunded for that. So
we could get some of it back.
yes,
I
this
think we
does
should
not
just bill them
include
for the whole amount,
what's that? Oh,
the whole 36,000 or whatever.
right. This also does not include the $4,000 right-of-way entry fee, which will be needed for the clearing of the vegetation. Hopefully, we won't need a similar permit for the tile replacement under the railroad, because I think the intent is to bore under it using pits outside of the railroad right-of-way. But we still want to clear the trees and bushes in the right-of-way, and we'll need a right-of-way entry fee for that.
So if we approve this, what's the timeline and what's the next step? Before you need more money, or you know what?
Well, we would need to execute the agreement with the railroad for preliminary engineering, which I would need to know who executes that, if the drainage board does or the commissioners, since the commissioners hold the insurance that we're required to submit to the railroad as a part of it. And then hopefully we can work with the railroad on the timeline. Usually they give us 60 days to complete the work after the execution of the permit or the agreement. But we'll still need to get a contractor and procure pipe and a borer.
Obviously, it collects a decent amount, but we're gonna probably have to go in the red, so we probably need to get a total project at best guess and have a motion that, yeah, we'll go in the red to do that and then move forward. I mean, I guess that's.
All it needs done, right?
Yeah, so I mean, just try to get us a total project and
Okay.
we'll say yeah and go from there, I guess. I mean,
And
it's-
I'll give a name to the railroad for somebody to sign the agreement and
sounds
get
good.
that moving forward too.
Okay. All right, it's after 9:10, so we'll go ahead and we'll move on to the second public hearing. The second one is gonna be on the 307-000B HINEN H drain. The current assessment is $15 per acre with a $50 minimum, which puts it at collection at $2,250.60 annually. The proposed assessment is gonna be $40 per acre and $200 minimum, with $6,983.20 would be collected annually with that. Everybody was notified. No notices returned undeliverable. There was 2 walk-in inquiries requesting more information, and 2 written objections were received on this assessment. It has 117.98 acres, 22 assessments, 19 minimums, and the current fund balance is $39.61.
And we ended up with 2 more objections later Friday, so 4 total in your packet.
Okay.
I'm assuming some of you guys are here for the HINEN. Can you pull up the watershed? Because a lot of the issues are talking about why they're being assessed, just so they can see kind of where the watershed is.
So, yep. Here's the watershed for the HINEN drain, this kind of highlighted shape. Like it says, it's about 118 acres and does extend over 800 south there. So, are there any specific questions on it?
Max, you'll give us a rundown of what's going on with the tile and the assessment?
Basically, there was a section, replaced there, the 700 foot at 15 inch through 2015. We did just replace some on the tile, the 850 feet going north. It was full of roots and broke down. I believe we paid for the tile on that job, and then Emmerichs had paid for the labor to be done on that. And then just through the rest of that, there's all those tiles are still on the same drain number, so we need to be able to raise it for maintenance reasons if we have any other problems. I believe they're gonna do some more pattern tiling through some of that back there, and just maintenance basically.
So, sounds like we need to do some work on the tile, and obviously the funds aren't currently there, so if anybody wants to comment on the tile, we're welcome you to come forward and just state your name and address, where you're located at, and just speak into the microphone so we can have it recorded that way, so.
Did we get a new microphone there, do you know? Because it used to
Turned on.
be,
It's
it used to be that one was
green,
red was
yeah.
on and these were green, but
Yeah,
it's.
it's different. It's like these now,
Okay,
so.
good.
Hi, good morning. I have just some questions on this, and maybe as more as objections, but
Okay.
you didn't ask for questions, you just asked for objections.
Either way, it's fine.
Ma'am,
I,
could you just state your name first?
Oh, my name is Cindy Wiest,
Thank you.
and I live at 7701 East 800 South. I'm on the north side of 800 South.
Okay.
So first of all, that's what I needed clarification for. When the tile is only strictly across the road from me, why am I being taxed for it or charged for the maintenance on it? I can see now a little bit of my land is on it, but about this much. And I think that was like, I have 2 properties. One's an agricultural and one's my residential, and the benefited acres. Is that what your guys are looking at when you're looking at your portion of
Correct.
this? Okay, so one benefited acres is 1.59, in one tract, and the other one is 1.66 in the other one. I've been assessed $5 a month for years for the HINEN, or excuse me, not HINEN, Smith A ditch that goes directly north of me. Will that eventually be put into this? And my concern from this is, right now, on my agricultural 4 acres, I pay about $110 a year in property taxes. If you guys tack on another 200, you're tripling my property taxes that year. On my residential, my annual property taxes are right around, I don't know, $1,500. And so if you're tacking on another 200 there, you're taking a pretty large chunk adding on to my property taxes on that side too. And then if you eventually add into this Smith ditch that's north of me, it's not on, I can't see it on there. Yeah,
This
you
is
see
the
it,
Smith
okay,
ditch,
so
yeah.
you moved it down, okay. Am I gonna be doubling the fees eventually in the near future, therefore adding over $800 into my taxes on both properties combined?
So at this point, I don't know that we have any work orders in to do any repairs without looking it up on the Smith. So
Okay, so
I don't know what
Are
that.
you eventually adding these properties based upon your work orders? So
It
then
just
in the future it
depends.
could be?
They don't get looked at unless there's usually something turned in. Once there's something turned in, a work order, bank slide-ins, ditches, whichever's going on, then we look into those properties. Then we might find out they've only collected $800 a year. So at that point, you can't really do much with $800 a year. So then we look into them and see what we're going to have to do. And then we go from there to raise
So
them.
you can't guarantee me, because I'm, again, looking at my agricultural property.
Right.
If I'm currently paying a little over $100 a year, and you're gonna triple it to $300 a year.
And I don't know I don't know if we can look to see what that collects, Brad, the Smith.
But this also isn't a collection that's forever. We do the work and then
Yeah.
they collect to do the work, and then you're not gonna get collected this extra amount forever.
Nothing ever. I did get a bill on my 2003 taxes for the HINEN, and it was $50, and then it did not appear any time before that or any time since, not
Cause
just
that's,
24.
it probably needed a little money to repair.
Okay.
So we
So
only
they collect
collect
it,
on
but then
it.
they'll quit collecting.
How do you do this a year in advance? How do you plan for that? I mean, since taxes only come out, and they come out a year in advance, then you go into arrears.
Yes, the drainage board, if we need to do some work, they'll allow us to go into the red a couple years if we ask them. And then we can go ahead and get our work done, so you'll pay for a few years
Okay.
until that's caught up. And then from there on, we may collect for another year. It depends if we have any projects that, or big tile replacements that need to be done. If there is, then we'll keep collecting the 4 times the amount, and then we'll stop, or we'll continue to get our projects done.
Now, I've lived out there almost all my life, and I was always under the assumption that if the tile was on your property, it was your responsibility. I don't know how much money my family ever spent on redoing tiles in probably both those fields and things too, so this is kind of new to me, so. And as a retired person, you can understand what,
Right.
you add $200 a year,
Yeah, yes.
there, and it gets a little scary, so that's what I thought. That really even, so basically, even though I only have 1.59 acres in that agricultural tract, I'm still gonna be billed $200, is what you're saying. So they're not necessarily, so somebody else who lives in that area too that has 4+ acres, because you're saying a $50 minimum, they're gonna be billed $200 also, even though they have 4 times as much land technically as I have.
I think she would get 2 bills because
Yeah, I'm gonna get 2 bills. I've got 2
for
notices.
this property and that property,
Right.
you're both gonna get a minimum
So
on both.
I'm automatically gonna be, when you guys do decide to build for this, build $400, one on the residential and one on the agricultural.
Yes.
So you can see it, 400 here, 400 there, starts
Yeah.
up, first, you never know what the counties, and that's to me, I'm just cautious, I'm just
Right.
curious,
Yep. And everybody that's up here, we pay them too, and we don't just keep collecting. It's not in, the most, if there's no work that needs to be done, the most that could be in there is 4 years worth.
Will notices be sent out in advance for people that live in this area or the other areas that, hey, we're doing this, and in 2026, this is gonna be on your property taxes?
If, the only notice that gets sent out is if we change the rate, like what would be today, like we're trying to change the rate that we could be collected. There won't be a notice if they do collect it, there won't be any kind of notice
Okay.
sent out that way.
Okay, and how did they come up with this $6,900 a year to maintain that one drain?
That's pretty much what we're raising them to now, just those numbers, the $40 an acre and the $200 minimum, just because, you know, some of them we'd like to raise them higher, but just the effects of it, obviously, because if it's a small watershed, but the tile needs replaced, it's so hard to replace that tile for what it costs, you know, with labor and getting somebody to show up and the tile costs. But that's just the basis where we set them, is the $40 an acre and the $200 minimum today, based on all these prices that we have to pay to get somebody to do the work that's needed.
Okay, and one final question then.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of the watershed? How do you determine where the watershed is? Because I see none of it goes into Allen County. And how do you determine, is it where the water drains when we have substantial amount of rain, or is it just where the water table comes from or goes into?
So they were delineated a long time ago. I mean, I don't know what the exact year was, but each county has their own, so that's why it doesn't go in Allen County. And it's gonna be basically wherever they delineated that surface water would go, and that's inside that drain. So each drain obviously has its own bill and its own watershed wherever it collects it from.
Okay.
So, yep.
Okay. In closing, I just kind of would ask you folks to consider the financial impact it may be, because I'm a little bit luckier than some of the other people in this area too, as far as being retired, being on fixed income, that kind of thing too. If you're only owning a small portion, should you be billed as much as somebody that owns a big portion? And I realize the farmers are gonna, if they're gonna be $50 an acre minimum, and you've got 100 acres, you're tacking on a huge amount of tax for them, basically, which already we've seen taxes jump because of the school system and things of that nature too. So I'd ask you guys to take in the financial responsibility of the neighborhood.
Yep.
Thank you.
Max, can you give them a little bit of just like prices on tile per foot, if you can give some estimates, just so they know kind of why we have such huge costs?
So if you look into just the 15 inch there they did in 2015, you're at about $7.50 a foot per tile, and then you're talking, or I guess $5.38, I'm sorry, and then probably $8 a foot to dig it up, to repair it or replace it. And then on top of that, every 100 foot we're using backfill, which is about $500 a load. So you know, you go 800 foot, that's 8 loads times $500 a piece. It's just, everything's getting so expensive, and with the previous collections of $2,000 a year, $800 a year, we just can't ever get any projects done. So it adds up really fast.
Yep. Any further comment on this drain? Okay. Any more comments from the board? If not, I'll take a motion.
I make a motion to increase the assessment rate on the 307-000B HINEN H drain.
To the proposed
Second.
amount?
Yeah.
To the proposed amount.
Yeah, to the proposed amount.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we increase the 307-000B HINEN H drain to the advertised amount at the $40 per acre and the $200 minimum, which would make it collect $6,983.20 annually. Is there any further discussion from the board? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, it's past 6:15, so we'll go ahead and we'll move on to the RUCKMAN F. This is drain 582-000B. The current assessment is $35 per acre at a $50 minimum. It's gonna collect $3,370.35 annually. Currently, we propose to collect $5,365.60 at the $200 minimum and the $40 per acre. Notices were sent out to all the landowners. One was returned undeliverable. Nobody was walked in to request more information and no objections. It is 94 acres with 15 assessments, 13 minimums, and the current balance is negative $995.93. Max, you want to give us an overview on that one?
Yeah, so basically, I was called out here a while back. One of the property owners, his field across 9 there, or not 9, 5 would not drain. We dug it up, we replaced, I think, 300 foot or so, full of roots, broke down clay tile. That worked for, I don't know, maybe a couple months. Then I got called back out that the field was flooded again once he had replanted it. So we ran our tile locator through, got stopped up again, further down the way, and the 800 foot that was done in 2015, we found more root blockage through there. Basically, at some point in time, we are good now, almost till 5. We will have to cross 5 at some point in time, which we'll have to end up boring. And then probably replace some tile on the west side of Highway 5 there also. I do feel that we're gonna have probably some more root issues through the 800 foot there that was done. As we dug it up, as you get to each joint, there were more roots getting in at the joints. We got it, like I said, we got it opened up for now. I think it's probably gonna be a little bit of ongoing. There's probably some trees that we need to look at, cutting back some. Possibly need to put this on the tile spray program to keep these roots from going in there. It's just gonna be kind of ongoing here for a while, and it didn't collect much, so we'll try to get some more in there to take care of what we need to.
Okay. Is there any public comment on this, Jan? Yeah, come on up.
Hello.
Hi, I'm James Maggard. I live at 350 North State Road 5, Larwell.
Okay.
So I've got to know Max here pretty well in the last couple months. So. And he's been out for a couple months. But no, my biggest concern, I don't have a problem with increasing the taxes. That's not my biggest concern was the same as the lady before me with paying double taxes because you have 2 sections of property that are less than 5 acres. So that's my biggest concern is that, it's 400% increase in your ditch tax. Obviously, Anderson's across the road, they don't really care because they have to pay most of the tax anyway, which isn't a big deal. But I do agree with the tax increase is fine because I do think that it needs maintenance. We have to maintain our ditches to make sure. I suggested to Max that you guys probably need to look at investing in a jetter truck one of these days because it'll make it a lot simpler to maintain these newer ditches down the road so that you can just, have a maintenance program that'll actually go in every, 2, 3, 5 years, whatever it takes, just to jet them out. And then that way you don't have to go in and dig them up every 10 years. I do have a little bit of concern about wanting to take out more trees along that ditch because when it was done 10 years ago, there's still some trees I think were 20 feet away from the line or so. I know Max pushed a bunch of brush back from the, I think 20 to 30 feet or whatever you want back, which is fine. I think the brush can kind of get pushed back a little bit more. And I said, that's not a problem at all. But there's some trees that, because I want to block the school because the school's over there. And if we take out more of those trees, I just dug an acre pond and cleared out 2 acres myself, and I don't really want to see the school. So that's my biggest issue, which I would rather have it maintained by a jetter truck than cutting trees down. And because the last time they went in and took out all that land, all they do is push them in a big pile and leave them lay there. So it's a lot more work for me anyway. Okay. So that's my biggest concern, and I don't know how many people in the county actually have to pay double tax, but if there's several people, there's 2 of us right here, so I don't know how many there actually are that have less than 5 acres in 2 different sections, but I would, it would be nice because, you've heard her impact. It doesn't affect me as much. $400 isn't that much money, but To some people, it is a lot of money, so I would, you know, just, any tax that goes up 400%, I'm gonna come in and figure out, you know, why it's going up 400%. So, and if there's anything we can do about it, and, in the future, that, you know, maybe cut those people down that have 2 sections to only paying 1 per household, I mean, or whatever it is. I mean,
Are your 2 properties, are they adjacent to each other?
No, they're separate by a 2-acre plot.
Oh.
Okay, so that's why there's 2
I thought
separate
you could have it
ones.
replatted into one.
Yeah, my whole thing was 4 different sections, and I combined all those.
Mhm.
So, except for that one, because they weren't connected.
Yep.
But that's the only thing, is, you know, if there's any way to reduce that in the future, that's fine. And then, and make sure that, you know, whatever the program is, if we wanna clear some stuff out, I wanna make sure I'm notified of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'd like to at least try to save the trees and then push the brush back.
Sure.
The 20-foot isn't gonna work very good if it's that close to this tile. And you're wanting us to waste money every 2 or 3 years jetting it. Well, if you tear the trees out, you don't have to jet.
Mhm.
You know, as tall as a tree is, the roots will grow out that far.
Mm-hmm.
And I can show you pictures on my phone what it looks like in a tile. I mean, it's just it fills it tight with roots.
Oh, yeah, they
Yeah.
had a section that got filled up.
And
And
that's-
I think they were brush roots instead of tree roots, but, because there's cottonwood
Mhm.
trees that have been there the whole time, which you'd think of.
And there's
There's
bad.
huge cottonwood trees, that part of the tile wasn't even blocked, so, and that's been 10 years, so.
You know,
It will
Just-
eventually find that.
Yeah, that's my point of
Those
the jetter truck.
cottonwoods.
I mean, if you just go jet it out every 5 years or whatever, I mean, then you don't have to worry about it, so. But obviously, the jetter trucks cost a little money.
I know, you just.
Pretty expensive.
Yeah, but, that's all I have. Cool.
All right, thank you. Any further comment on this drain? Seeing none, we shall proceed on.
Move we approve the 582000B RUCKMAN F at $40 an acre and $200 minimum.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the 582-0008B RUCKMAN F drain at the proposed amount for 40 and 200. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we'll move on to the next, since we're past the time. It is the 645-001B Smith CE number 1. The current assessment is $5 an acre and $10 minimum, which collects $1,453.76 annually. Proposed assessment would be the $40 per acre and $200 minimum, which would bring it up to $12,728.52. Everybody was notified. None were returned undeliverable. 2 walk-in inquiries and 1 written objection, which is in your packet. It has 288 acres in this watershed, 35 assessments, and 18 minimums. The current drain fund is $1,252.81. So, Max?
We had a work order turned in, just as a repair for a suck hole. Went out, had a contractor go out, and it was almost impossible to be able to find a good section of tile to tile into. So basically, at that point, I'm asking to raise it for general maintenance, plus possibly someday we are gonna have to run a new tile. It's not real long through there, but it will have to be replaced, and there's some trees that we need to clear. I believe it does go under the road also, on both sides of the road. I think need a little clearing done on 650 there, so.
Okay. Any public comment on this drain?
Just.
Okay, no, it sounds like the need is there. We need to raise it to maintain or maybe even someday replace it. So, what's the wishes of the board?
You gonna keep repairing, or you gonna just try to save the money?
No, we're gonna try to hold off for now. You know, we have it repaired now. We got onto an okay piece of tile. So from there on, we'll try to get collected and then at least get replaced through there.
Yeah.
Um,
Hate to send
Yeah.
good money to bad money.
There's a pond there, I believe, and they believe it was rerouted around. I'm not sure exactly where it goes at this time yet, so there might be some new tile, but depending if we'll have to lower that or not, so.
Sure.
But yes, we'll hold off until, you know, we can get enough in there to replace it.
Where the tile holes down by the ditch where there's no trees and the flat.
Yeah,
there.
yep, it was down further.
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion. One more discussion.
I'll move to approve the, on drain 645-001B, Smith CE number 1, at the proposed assessment of $40 per acre and $200 minimum.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we increase the proposed assessment on the 645-001B Smith C to the $40 per acre and $200 minimum. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. Motion passes. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll move on to the next public hearing. It is the 775-001B WIDMAN A1 drain. The current assessment is $1.44 per acre and a $5 minimum, which collects $137.38. The proposed assessment is the $40 per acre and the $200 minimum, which would bring the collection up to $4,987.44 annually. Everybody's been notified. Nobody was returned undeliverable. No walk-in or written objections on this one. It has 52.2 acres, 23 assessments, 20 minimums, and the current fund balance is $107.24. I think once, if this one goes through and is approved, we're gonna talk about going into the red on this one, so get it changed, so. Max, go ahead and tell me what you got on this one.
Basically, we've had some calls and some work orders out there. The whole area, there's a pretty good area that floods through there, and people, it's deep enough that people can't get their cars through there. There's a couple of school bus drivers that live back in there, need to be able to get out. There was some of it replaced, but there are some trees and some broke down tile, and we're gonna need to replace some and do some clearing. I think we have a estimated cost of $16,300. So yes, if it does approve, we would like to request to go in the red.
Is the 900-foot still good that we replaced, or has it got roots in it?
I haven't been out there because crops were on, but it should be in pretty good shape. There's one section that goes by some trees. We may have to look into that, maybe clear some trees in that section. But other than that, we're hoping it's pretty good out there.
Okay. Any public comment on this drain? Okay. Is there any further discussion, or I'll entertain a motion?
I'll move to approve the, on drain 775-001B WIDMAN A number 1 to the proposed assessment of $40 per acre with $200 minimum as presented.
Second that.
Been properly moved and seconded that we increase the assessment on the WIDMAN A1 to the $40 per acre and the $200 minimum. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we should proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. I'll abstain on that one. Oh, that's the last of our,
Oh, and then we need to go in the red.
okay. Yep. So I'll, you have a total, or do you just, we just need to go?
Yeah, estimated cost is $16,300. It looks like it would put us in the red about 2.5 years.
Do I need to amend my motion, or?
No, it's separate.
Oh.
So looks like just to get them relief and get it draining,
You need a motion for that?
Yeah.
I'll move to allow the drainage department to go into the red on the 775-001B Whitman number 1 as requested by the drainage supervisor.
Second that.
Been moved and seconded, we allow this drain to go into the red to allow completion of the work. Is there any further discussion? Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. All abstain as well. Okay. Structure. Guess, looks like we're on to the owner-funded reconstruction.
I meant to have Jenny take that off, so we can go past that.
That wraps that up. We'll go on to other business.
So the other business is the petition to establish a new drain on Page Road, submitted by Scott Wagner. He did submit the petition. Let's see if I have that. Matt has it now. So as long as we accept the petition, then they would move on with the next steps, which I believe is the establishment of a public hearing and then notification of the public hearing, unless there's a step I missed. So, does anybody have any questions on it?
So what do you need from us now? What?
As long as it's the next step, I think the next step would be to establish the date and time of the public hearing. And then we would then inform Scott so that he can have notifications set out and advertisements published in the newspaper.
So to proceed, you just need a motion for a hearing, correct? Is that?
I think so, is that what you're saying?
Post a bond? Did you post a bond?
I talked about it, I have not, you can, or I can just pay for all the notification, so there is no burden on the board.
I haven't seen this till just now, so
Okay.
I'm trying to read through it and see where we're at, but,
Sorry, I should have passed it on to you.
one of the requirements says that there should be a bond posted to cover the cost of notice and legal costs, which if Scott's saying he's just gonna pay for it. I mean, it's the same difference in essence,
Yeah.
rather than go to the trouble
I
of
think
paying
the
for it.
bond was in case the board rejected at the public hearing and wasn't left with the taxpayers, yeah,
Okay.
so if I pay for it, there's no.
The only other question that I think we had is whether the statute seems to suggest that you should have the full legal description of each parcel. I think we kind of have the county shortened version. Whether that's makes it effective or not, I don't necessarily know, and it's certainly something we could get. So, and it does look like they have 10% based on this watershed map. So yeah, I think the next step is just to set it for hearing. But have you guys seen this as well?
Oh, I mean, we've talked about it, but we've never done one, so we don't know what all the
Well,
exact steps
and
are.
I've never done one, and I've been doing this for 15 years, so it's not something that comes up a lot. I mean, it would be a little bit, my preference, if Scott's not in a hurry, is to maybe table this till next month, so everybody has a chance to look at it and see it, make sure we have all the steps in place, and, but I don't know if there's an urgency to get it done necessarily, but.
I think the only timeline constraint would be if we want it on next year's tax roll, we have to get it completed by, what, the November meeting?
That'd be the last meeting.
If we approve it in October for public hearing in November, that would still be.
Oh, I mean, I'm okay with taking a little bit of time to make sure it's okay if we can.
I mean, I think you guys should see it too as well, just to, that would be my thought, but I think generally it looks okay, but I'm skimming through it on my phone
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
the
get it.
statute,
I get
like
it.
I don't have it memorized or anything. It does seem like the bond is supposed to be posted as part of the application so that it would cover the costs if it gets dismissed, but at the end of the day, there's no real harm if Scott's gonna cover the cost. Statutorily, it may be a little. Do you have any idea if any of the neighbors, are the neighbors all on board with this?
Probably not.
Okay, well then we should probably do it. Okay. That probably makes a difference then. I would hate to give somebody a legal way to challenge it that's silly.
Yeah, true, okay. All right, well, just to make sure we got the steps, I mean, I think, what's the feeling of the board? I think tabling it probably be a good.
So, yeah, if we need to read that, look it over, give us a month to, if we got any questions, then we come back.
And then I can kind of tell you guys what the next steps for sure are as well.
Yep. Do we need a
Have a
motion?
game plan.
We need a
You
motion
have to lead
table it,
us
or-
through it.
No, I mean, maybe a motion to table it, but I don't know that it's necessary either, probably.
That's fine. Just, we'll table it to the next one and kind of collect.
Move we table it to the next meeting and get a chance to study the document.
It's been moved and seconded, we table this to the next meeting to let us gain some more knowledge and information, just to make sure that we're proceeding with the correct steps. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Are we on to the engineer's report?
I think it's not official, or like, we probably should come up with an official report. I'll add in one comment here,
Okay.
Since the time is different. I didn't prepare anything on this, but just reviewing some of the developments that are coming through in comparison to the drains that we have been replacing. I've noticed that how we design the drains with the slide rule, typically the slide rule at a half inch of rain in 24 hours. Comparing that to most stormwater ordinances, which we don't have a stormwater ordinance yet, and I have been told that it would be a good idea to write a stormwater ordinance to guide developments on how to develop their stormwater ponds and stuff like that. Those are limits. Those have 4 inches of rain in 24 hours is what they use to design ponds. And that's just taking the total rain and dividing it per acre. That's, most stormwater ordinances have a, 0.2 cubic feet per second per acre of development. What that means to us is that if we switch to that, our pipe size that we would determine is needed would double, in general, if we use that rate. So it has a big impact. So it's just something to think about, that we might need to start, as a general rule, think about increasing the pipe size in developed areas if we want to promote development, or maybe if the developments are in TIF districts, we work with the redevelopment commission to see if they want to make up the difference to come up with, allow that larger pipe. But it's just something, if we do a technical stormwater standard, we probably will put a rate like that in there, and then we'll have this discrepancy of standards. So
Some of those are large pipes already, we might have cover to get,
Right.
a 6 or 8 foot pipe in some of those. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely something we can talk about and figure out for sure. So. Okay.
anyways, that was it.
Okay.
So now we're on to field report.
What about Columbia Realty? We need to talk about those? Or-
That was the railroad agreement.
Okay, I got you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yep, I remember now. All right, now we'll move on to field work.
Okay, we have the Carter Road number 88. We're requesting to raise the assessment for annual spraying and clearing. We'd had a repair application by Alan Zeller, and we just haven't had enough money to do anything out there. So right now we do have $2,300 on hand. It collects $1,400, and we're just looking to raise it to 40 per acre and 200 minimum. It'll collect $7,846.24.
Okay, well, I'd send this one out for a hearing. We'll just need a motion to do that.
Basically just for maintenance, which that's what the next few are for. So
Okay.
Where's this one at? It is 600 north and
Little Lake.
or little 450 east. That's
If you're familiar with that little,
how to describe it.
that little kind of
Jog
jog in the
around
jog in the
on
road around that
450.
lake there on 450. That's kind of where this is.
Gotcha. Yeah. We just, same area through there. We had some clearing. That's where the guy had a garage burned down here not too long ago that we rebuilt.
So it dumps into the lake and then picks back up?
Yes, supposedly. Todd Gross had worked on it some through there. We have some blockage right now through there with some trees that need cleared, pushed back. And then we will have to put it on, the spray list. So we add more and more.
At least you can get to it.
Yeah.
Find out.
So far.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve raising the rate on the 073088B Carter, 88 to 40 and 20 an acre. Do we have a hearing for that?
Second that.
It's been moved and seconded that we go ahead and we have a hearing for the 073-088B Carter O number 88. The hearing will be advertised at the $40 per acre and the $200 minimum rate, which would collect $7,846.24. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes.
They must have been pretty specific back when they made the old assessment.
Yep,
14 cents.
Yep. It was probably at $9.25 when they came in and got you to drop it to $9.14. All right, we'll move on to the GANGWER H number 15.
We'd had a property owner, Mike McCoy. Same thing, we have some tile that's gonna need some further work done. We may have to run a little bit more. It's in a watershed of 311 acres. It is currently $10 per acre, $50 minimum. Proposed raise it to $40 an acre, $200 minimum to bring in $15,121.
Okay.
You're gonna have to replace, is that what you're thinking there?
I believe there is some that we do need to replace.
Yeah.
I don't have the notes on
Okay, well, it sounds like a
that. A lot of muck on that deal. I believe so. Out in that whole area, I believe there's quite a bit of.
sounds like the need's there. I'll entertain a motion.
Go ahead, I'll make a motion to request to increase the gang hour age 15 to $40 an acre, $200 minimum.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we have a hearing on the GANGWER H number 15 and advertise it at the $40 per acre and the $200 minimum, so that it would collect $15,121.36. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. Move on to the MOWREY W.
Okay, MOWREY W, we had already raised the assessment on that. I was just out there last week to one of the open ditches, and it's just a total mess out there. It's off of 14, out by Stable Acres. We just need to start the tile project. We have an estimated cost to replace 680 foot of 30-inch. And 2,350 foot of 24, with it totaling $88,120. So I'm just requesting we go in the red so we can get this bid out to get it taken care of.
Looks like this one's the one that's by Stable Acres. Was that any of your concern to increase the pipe size, or you think we're okay on this one?
I did take Stable Acres into account, but Also the big culverts that under
Let the water,
14
yep.
that dump water out.
Yep, for sure.
There's a reason to go from 24 to 30.
Okay, yep.
As long as we might, consider where the low spots are, where that water collects, and put a standpipe there, even though it's out in the middle of the field.
Yep.
Just so
Yep, try to get some water underground, I agree. Okay.
How big is it now? It's not 30 now.
I think might be 24 at the ditch and
Yeah.
something that's a goofy size out there in the middle. This one's, we farmed this one, and there's a new 6-8 foot suck hole every year, at least, if not 2 or 3 of them, so it's pretty.
There's suck holes and water draining on top of the ground everywhere. It's all rutted out, washed out.
Yeah.
So I gotta abstain on this one, but I'll hear your wishes or entertain a motion.
I move that we go in the red for at least 2 years on MOWREY W 46400B as presented.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded to allow us to go into the red on the 464-000B MOWREY W drain. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. All abstain. Phillips C.
The next one is the Phillips C, number 16, requesting to increase the assessment for general maintenance, which we also may need to do a tile replacement and clearing. We do kind of have an estimated cost for the first phase of 1,500 feet, 15-inch would be $25,000, and we could begin in approximately 5 years. 21 acres. Right now it collects $884 a year. With 40 and 200, it would collect $4,200 a year. Dane, I don't know if you have anything to comment on that one.
Yeah, this has been a problem for years. It's been broken down as long as I can remember, so we petitioned to get it fixed.
It's through a bunch of woods there, is that what?
Yeah, it goes up through Cops, and then we own up there at the top end.
And I think it goes in and out of this pond here.
Yeah.
Does it like stop and begin again, or is it through the pond? Do you know?
I don't know on their side. I mean, it goes through a couple wet spots on the other side of the old railroad, but yeah, so this is kind of like a swamp area. There's a bunch of drainage problems up on the top end.
Yeah. Looks like in that woods down there, it was pretty much on top of the ground.
Yeah, I think it's, I just think
Under
there's
that
been
tile.
really no maintenance down on the bottom end, so.
Okay, I'd say there's definitely a need there. What's the wishes of the board?
I'll move we go ahead and have a hearing on 543016B Phillips 616. Raise it to $40 and $20 minimum, or $200 minimum.
Second that.
Been properly moved and seconded that we have the hearing on the 543-016B Phillips C drain and increase it, or excuse me, we're gonna advertise the increase to $40 per acre and $200 minimum. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. And looks like we've got Stangland left.
The last one would be the Stangland, number 33. Doug Long was requesting that we raise the assessment on this. Like I said, it collects $201. There's a bunch of tile repairs to do that he has done in the past. And now we have some clearing also to be done. We don't necessarily know that it needs a full replacement, but just we need to do the clearing and take care of some of the repairs. So, proposed is $40 an acre and $200 minimum.
It's mainly on produced ground that needs cleared.
I believe some of that is on there, yes.
We'll have to coordinate with them, I think, on that, cause if it's Purdue Research Foundation and that's like research projects of trees
Right.
going on in there, we'll just have to coordinate before we go mow the research projects.
Max will figure that
Yeah.
Before or after.
And that's all, produce all woods.
Wow.
Okay, what are the wishes of the board?
Make a motion to, pass the request, increase on the Stanglin, or the 664-033 BU Stanglin, number 33, to the $40 an acre and $200 minimum.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to have a hearing on the 664-033 BU Stanglin, number 33, and advertise it at the $40 per acre and the $200 minimum, which would collect $15,077.44. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes.
Gonna have them all ready for the next meeting, Jenny?
Sure will.
A lot of paperwork.
A little bit.
I guess that's the end. Anybody have anything else? Anybody else in the audience? All right, well, meeting adjourned.